Welcome to the bold analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of Republic of Kenya, we are told by none other than Kimani Ichung'wah that he was supposed to attend a church service in Kericho, Full Gospel Churches of Kenya. But apparently, due to some other reasons, a decision was made on Saturday night for the president to have a some cool down session in Nairobi. And so, William Ruto attended the Catholic service in Kayole. Of course, Catholic, because Catholic bishops have been in the lips of Kenyan for better part of this week. This event, after it, there was a political rally, and that political rally, it is very key to look at the messaging at the point where Kenyans, just like in Embu, continues to show disapproval. I told you that one thing that is worrying the president is whether the new trend of heckling will actually limit political mobility. There is no president who would want that anywhere he goes, there is some sort of heckling. So in this video, I want us to delve deep into the service in Kayole. You're going to get the speeches of Ichung'wah and Sakaja. Really, you will understand how a group of people around the president are lying to him. And then we'll interrogate why the heckling incident in Kayole. And that will help us to see why the Nairobi cool down rally did not achieve its objectives. But before we get deep into this, I want to say thank you. I told you guys that we are on a mission to 100,000 subscribers. Let me shock you. Just today, I have gotten 706 subscribers. Sijaipata hiyo tangu nianze analysis, to be honest. One day. Now, as I talk to you, I have 91,810 subscribers. So, on our journey to 100, tumebakisha 9,190. What a good news. The best you can do, subscribe. Iko hapo red button down there. It will not cost anything. By then, it doesn't cost. Number two, the YouTube, my back end and front end, I cannot access your email. So your email, the breach of privacy is not there. The only advantage is that when we publish any video, you will get notification. And through that, you shall have supported this channel. Thank you very much. Kindly subscribe, share this video, and make sure that you help us grow this big brand. Because here, we want to analyze politics. Now, Ruto was supposed to be in Kericho, as I've said. Now, I realized that the decision to go to remain in Nairobi, or rather to hold that rally, to go to Kayole, was informed by two things. Number one is the report of Thursday protest. And number two is the issue of Kayole of the Catholic bishops. But if you outweigh the two, there is an observation I made. That church service in Kayole, it was attended by Omosh Jakababa. Omosh Jakababa symbolizes, he actually represents Bunge la Wananchi in Jacaranda. So I want to believe that president's handlers, they really got hold of Omosh to attend that service so that he will cool down Jacaranda. Because there is a report of some protest being organized in this week, and this is the week that the president is supposed to do the State of the Nation address. Quite a big coincidence. So from Monday, I'm telling you, it will be interesting to see how things shall be moving in this country. As that was happening, James Orengo, the Siaya senator, the Siaya governor, organized some youth league event in Kajiado. And in that event, he was accompanied by Kasmuel Makoure and Gaucho. Those two are now emerging as the leaders that ODM is quoting to be part of their youth league. But if you ask me, I can clearly tell you that all these were all state choreographs, as the president is trying to reach out to the vocal people that was seen to be behind the protest so that they can deflate the online campaign going on to hold protest on 21st November, the day the president is supposed to issue the State of the Nation address. But I want to tell you that if William Ruto does not have a solution like speech, explanation like message to the people of Nairobi, I can tell you that you can get away with any political propaganda, but Nairobi is a no-go zone. And I will inform you, and I want us to look at that church service. There are two speeches that I really paid attention to. One is Sakaja and Ichung'wa. Can you listen to what Sakaja was telling the president and Ichung'wa?
Juzi nikiwa Murang'a, I went to observe this Northern Collector tumefanya. Watu wakaniambia mambo ya Mau Mau Road. Nikauliza Mau Mau Road, it's very important. Lakini Mau Mau waliacha vita mwaka gani? 1963. Kulikuwa na rais wa kwanza 14 years. Barabara labda ilikuwa mzuri ikaanza kuharibika. Kwa kona wa pili 24 years there was no road there. Kwa kona wa tatu 10 years barabara haikuwa. Wa nne 10 years barabara bado. But you 2 years all the blame is on you. Is that fair? In 2 years atatue shida ya 60 years. You know, Excellency, to whom much is given, much is expected. Ni vile tunajua wewe ni mnoma. That's why people wanakuharakisha, because we know who you are. But when we are realistic, in 2 years surely. Situpate rais wetu wakati afanye kazi. Na tunajua utafanya kazi mzuri. So
na sikuwa na mpango wa kutembea kanisa la Katoliki leo. Lakini rais akaniita asubuhi kwa mambo mengine, akaniambia kuja twende kanisa la Katoliki. Na nikamwambia nitaandamana na wewe sababu nilisikia jana ukiwa Embu ukisema Mungu akikujalia utatafuta kanisa. Ilikuwa ni kwa imani. Rais alikuwa aende Kericho, kanisa la Full Gospel, lakini kwa imani Mungu akapanga maneno yake tukajipata hapa. Na vile governor amesema, sio ati Wakenya wanakukimbiza na miaka miwili na kumekuwa na marais wengine. Wakenya pia ni watu wa imani, wako na imani. Wewe uko na nguvu na uwezo wa kubadili maisha ya Wakenya. Kwa hivyo tutaendelea kukimbiza wewe. Hujakimbizwa, tutakukimbiza, utasalimiwa, na wewe fanya bidii zaidi mpaka yale mambo uliambia Wakenya yatimie, na sisi kwa bunge tutahakikisha ya kuwa tunakupeleka mbio ili utimize yale mambo uliwaahidi wa Kenya.
Now those two, I don't know whether Sakaja said something that the president realized was not good, or everything just happened, or it was just a coincidence. Sakaja is saying that the president, William Ruto, cannot be blamed to solve all problems that all the other 4 presidents never solved. And using an example of Mau Mau Road, the governor is lying. And I think even the people of Kenya, even in this podcast, no one has asked the president, William Ruto, to solve all the problems that have been there. And let's use, for example, that Mau Mau Road. And you know, the governor just needs to be factual. Mau Mau Road was not started by William Ruto. Mau Mau Road was started by former President Uhuru Kenyatta. It started during Uhuru Kenyatta reign. But what happened? Now, that road was supposed to pass in the middle of a forest, I think Abadea's forest. So human rights and wild and forest conservationists have taken some case to court. There is a case dragging in court that has stalled that move, and because of that case, it has also been riddled by some funding challenges. So, it is not that those who are demanding Mau Mau Road are demanding Mau Mau Road because the other presidents never did it. That probably is not even the answer. And secondly, let's be factual. The things that are making the people of Kenya to ask more questions to the president are not the roads that Sakaja is talking about. I can tell you that even when the Catholic bishop spoken, even what the Catholic bishop said is something that Kenyans have been saying for the last couple of months. The Kenyans have raised questions on the SHA. the SHA was not started. That transition from NHIF to SHA was not started by Uhuru, not Mwai Kibaki, not the 24-year reign of Moi, and not Kenyatta. This is a project that has been started by William Ruto himself. So I think the victim card that Sakaja is telling the country when the country is asking William Ruto questions is quite unfair. They're playing a victim card, and that victim card is quite unfair. If you look at the education funding model, help has been here. And the way that funding model has been going, it has been here for more than 30 years. Now William Ruto came, William Ruto wants to change things. It is their time. It is William Ruto's will. Some of the policies like affordable housing that is now introducing the housing levy and the share that now is increasing deductions. These are things that have been created by Kenya Kwanza. So when Kenyans interrogate some of those policies, I find it a bit absurd that the governor is playing a victim card, that we are demanding answers from Ruto and not the other presidents. You realize that even some MPs were saying that Catholic bishops are just criticizing Ruto because Ruto is not a Catholic. And I found that a bit an escape narrative. And then Ichung'wa is saying that Kenyan people trust that he will change. That is not the answer. And I wish they tell him the truth. Ichung'wa must really realize the problem Kenya Kwanza is facing is a trust deficit. And the narrative in the lips of many ni uongo, uongo, uongo. But if that is what they can tell the president, because that is what will make the president happy, then probably they should just own up and tell the president, we are telling you this, even though this is not what we think is right, but we are telling you that because we don't want to annoy you. Now, those are the two messages there. After that rally, after that service, the president stepped out of the church and decided to do an impromptu rally in front of that church. Of course, he could not do the politics in the pulpit. And I think he's trying to, yesterday Uhuru said, I will not campaign in the church. So William Ruto decided to go and hold that rally there. He did an impromptu rally in front of the church. And in that rally, he tries to, it is the same language of Tutafanya and some few things that they've done in Nairobi. Now, I pointed to that rally because it was during that rally that a video of heckling emerged. Now, you can look at it and look at how the people were reacting, the contact between the people and President Ruto, and it was saying, and then you shall also see the heckling incident when the president was talking in front of that church.
Niko na swali kwenu, mtanisaidia kujibu? Mimi nauliza nyinyi. Kuna wale wanataka kuturudisha katika siasa ya migawanyiko na siasa ya ukabila na siasa ya chuki. Mimi nawauliza Nairobi, jameni, nataka niwaombe kwa heshima. Sisi wote ni ndugu moja, wa taifa moja, na Mungu mmoja, na nchi moja. Munasema tuungane ama tutengane? Nairobi, munasema tuungane ama tutengane jameni? Wale wanasema tuungane nione kwa mkono, wale wanasema tuungane. Na ndio mimi, sawa sawa, mimi nimesema tutafanya kazi na viongozi wote. Wale waliotupigia kura, wale hawakutupigia kura. Wale wa Kenya Kwanza, wale wa Azimio. Sisi wote ni ndugu moja. Siasa imeisha. Sasa ni wakati wa sisi viongozi kuungana, tuweze kutekeleza mambo ambayo yatabadilisha maisha ya Wakenya. Tuzalishe chakula, tuondoe njaa. Tusomeshe watoto wetu, tuondoe ujinga. Tuhakikisha kwamba tunapanga mambo ya matibabu, tuondoe matatizo kwa wananchi. Na tuhakikisha kwamba tunapanua nafasi za kazi, vijana hawa wajisimamie na wachangie katika kupeleka taifa letu la Kenya mbele. Na ndio mimi nataka niwahakikishie, we are going to work together with all the leaders who want the best for our nation, so that we can grow our agriculture and provide food security. We can create additional jobs for these many young people in our nation, and we can make sure that we fight corruption so that the resources of Kenya can be used for the intended purpose, and every citizen get value for the resources that they contribute as taxes. Kwa hivyo ndugu zangu watu wa Nairobi, mimi nataka niseme asante sana. Mimi nataka niwashukuru na niwaambie tuko pamoja.
Uende nyumbani.
Hinga yuko hapa na tumekubaliana vijana 18,000 saizi, lakini tutaongeza vijana mpaka wafike vijana 1000.
Ruto uongo. Hakuna.
So, it is still the same reaction like what happened in Embu. And I did say that one thing that is really worrying the president is the country is now getting used to heckling the president. And I can speculate. William Ruto will hold the next event and the red berets will be all over. So that they suppress the public voice. That is, those are the tools available for the president. Or the chiefs will be told to bring very lean people, pay some stipend so that people come and they receive the president. I know they are planning that. Or another thing is to make sure that people that attend president's event, there is that classified audience with UDA caps and shirts so that they can abide and the president fails to get that heckling. And I think from my end, I've realized something, that the president was in Nairobi for a rally to cool the tension. Remember, Nairobi is the headquarters of this contention. But I want to do this analysis to explain why Nairobi cool down moves by the state will backfire. Remember, since Kenya Kwanza administration came to power, William Ruto has been avoiding holding political rallies in Nairobi. In fact, the last time there was a rally, it was just Rigathi Gachagua who was in that area. So he needed to go out just to try to cool the temperatures. But all that is deemed to backfire. Why? Because the Nairobi protest voice against the president, contrary to public perception, the demographic that is revolting against Ruto mostly is the middle class. By the way, hustlers gave up. I can tell you. Hustlers gave up because the hustlers that used to go to the streets, not hustlers, but I think I'm using the wrong description. Okay, the slum dwellers that the president really identified as the team going to the street, they easily silenced, they were silenced by the bullets and all that. And so, if you look at housing levy, hakuna mtu anaishi nyumba ya 2,000 pale Kibera analipa housing levy. If you look at SHA, every Kenyan lacks that service. Is getting a problem going to public service, public institutions, private institutions. But to some end, yule hata akatwi. Na yule mtu atakatwa pesa na ameenda hospitali, anakatwa mingi na anaenda hospitali na party service. That is the person most hurt. If you look at these tax policies that are being rolled, The giant tax contributor is the Kenyan in formal jobs. Now that middle class, that class is the doctors, is the teachers, and is people in that middle space are the ones protesting. So while the president can organize as many rallies as he wants in almost all these slums, even bringing Ryland, because you know you can, but Nairobi is a bit more technical. And this time round, I see the people that will be protesting are not Omosh Jakababa. They're the teachers and the nurses and the doctors in this country. The other complex thing about Nairobi is the online rebuff. The digital battalion that is running the smear narrative against the president are based here. The people that are making those long tweets, organizing Twitter spaces and making the digital campaign against the president are Nairobi dwellers. That team is working behind the clock. And it is really, the other counties like in Mount Kenya, it will largely be influenced by regarding impeachment. What do people think about regarding impeachment on that position? The other counties of Western and Nyanza, it will largely be influenced by the broad-based. The same to the counties to the coast counties. But Nakuru, Nairobi, Mombasa, you must be very careful. Those three towns, and you can add Kisumu in it, but Kisumu will react to how the broad-based is. The other blunder that Ruto is, why I'm telling Ruto Nairobi is technical, is Sakaja is already a letdown, an image of letdown to this county. And let me excuse Sakaja a bit. Nairobi is one of the most difficult counties to be a governor because you can never satisfy this city. The number of people that are coming to this city now sahi exam imefanywa, all these people you're seeing graduating, all these form 4s you're seeing doing exam, all these people are coming in this city to look for job. In this month of November, if you kiangalia number of watu wamekuja hapa ni wengi. So whatever the governor might want to do, people cannot feel it. And Governor Sakaja is also, I'm not seeing a project you can outrightly come and say, this is Sakaja. I think he's struggling with some there's some bills of kutoa hawkers kando ya barabara tukisha wapi. Those are the things that I'm seeing. There is that dish in a county that was riddled with some corruption. In fact, that metropolitan docket that Uhuru Kenyatta created during Uhuru Kenyatta era, it was more visible and it did more work than the governor, even Sonko. So Sakaja himself is a candidate of exit, is a candidate to exit the space in 2027. So Ruto is using Sakaja in this space, and Sakaja is really an enemy of the people, and it cannot really work. Lastly, now I've seen the issue of 2,000 jobs. The president understands that one of the biggest problem in Nairobi metropolitan area is unemployment. The jobs, the 20,000 jobs, if there are 20,000 jobs, yes, is a drop in the ocean. The president might be shocked that where he was speaking in Kayole, he's talking about 20,000 jobs, and there is no single man or woman who has gotten a job who is not amongst those 20,000 people. So, I believe that not well is good. Nairobi is most affected by these tax policies. They're the most hit by those tax policies. So, the presidents really have to look through this more careful because I'm afraid the hostility might really spiral. Thank you.